Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Nandapriya Narmada Devi Dasi from Charlotte, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. I thank everyone for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadevi in the Padma Purana. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Aditi Devi Dasi in Canada.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Preeti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Priya Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi from Rangana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru. All glories to
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Anita Ramya Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and my Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. This is Sushmita from Mississauga, Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा नंद प्रिया नर्मदा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय वृंदा
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Are there any other devotees who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Valli from Naperville, Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Valli Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji with us to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, sloka number 2. Yeah, before handing over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to ask Aditi Mataji to go ahead and give a brief introduction of Prabhuji. Mataji, please take over.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. We are once again very fortunate to have His Grace Dr. Keshavanand Prabhuji this morning, and this is a brief introduction for him. Dr. Keshavanand Prabhuji was a professional doctor for many years, and he is now a practicing monk. Since the last 20 years, he has conducted extensive research and authored books in the field of science and spirituality. He feels the rift between science and spirituality must disappear to bring peace in the world. If spirituality is a superstitious and a myth, science is materialistic and atheistic. A new approach to life is needed today that can bring the best of both. Science must re-embrace spirituality and be humble to admit its defects, flaws, and ignorance. And spirituality must base itself on sound, scientific, and rational ideas. Keshavanand Prabhuji has studied both Vedic and Western philosophy. Besides learning Sanskrit, he also learned Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, and Kannada to know about other traditions. His persistent endeavor in the field of science and spirituality has enabled to come up with seminars on diverse topics like science and the Vedas, mind and machines, science fails to explain life, consciousness, and beyond, etc., that he has presented in various colleges in India, Europe, America. Under the guidance of his spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, he has also started a Gurukula, a traditional system of Vedic education in Punjab, India, where children learn the ancient Vedic culture and values. Besides, he has started the farm community. The community has a traditional way of living with mud huts and thatched roofs with cows and, of course, farming. The communities will set a model for the world to show how to live life based on the principle of simple living, high thinkings. Dandavat Pranam to Keshavanand Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Mataji, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the introduction. Hare Krishna. Yeah, looks like Prabhuji has not yet joined the call. Yeah, are there any other devotees who would like to introduce themselves? Hare Krishna. Mataji, shall we keep chanting? I don't think Prabhuji has not yet joined the call, right? Yeah, we'll keep chanting by the. If there are any other devotees who would like to introduce themselves, please go ahead. If not, we'll keep chanting.
Hare Krishna, this is Sukhakar Krishnadas from Chennai. Thanks for allowing me to join Bhakti Sangha. Thank you very much. All goes to Prabhupada and all goes to all the devotees in Bhakti Sangha. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Sukhakar Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Prabhu has joined.
Thanks, Prabhu, but it's not.
Yeah, his camera is not on.
Yeah, camera is not on. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, sloka number 2. Prabhuji, whenever you're ready, please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
Prabhuji is coming. Kindly wait for 2 minutes. You can recite the shloka.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Mataji, Indulekha Mataji, can you please go ahead?
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6, Text 2. Yata hi purushasyeha Vishno padopas yadesha sarva bhutanam priya atmeshwara suhrat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The human form of life affords one a chance to return home, back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all other living beings. Purport by His Divine Grace. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhradam sarva bhutanam nyatva mam shanti nichati. The sage who knows me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. Simply by understanding these three facts, that the Supreme Lord Vishnu is the proprietor of the entire creation, that he is the best well-wishing friend of all living entities, and that he is the supreme enjoyer of everything, one becomes peaceful and happy. For this transcendental happiness, the living entity has wandered throughout the universe in different forms of life and different planetary systems. But because he has forgotten his intimate relationship with Vishnu, he has merely suffered life after life. Therefore, the educational system in the human form of life should be so perfect that one will understand his intimate relationship with God or Vishnu. Every living entity has an intimate relationship with God. One should therefore glorify the Lord in adoration of Shantarasa, or revive his eternal relationship with Vishnu as a servant in Dasya Rasa, a friend in Sakya Rasa, a parent in Vatsalya Rasa, or a conjugal lover in Madhurya Rasa. All these relationships are on the platform of love. Vishnu is the center of love for everyone, and therefore the duty of everyone is to engage in the loving service of the Lord. As stated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavatam 3:25-28, Yesham aham priya atma sutas cha Sakha Guru Suhrid Devam Ishtam. In any form of life, we are related with Vishnu, who is the most beloved, the supreme, the super soul, son, friend, and guru. Our eternal relationship with God can be revived in the human form of life, and that should be the goal of education. Indeed, that is the perfection of life and the perfection of education. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
can hear
just
you.
yeah. Actually, can you give me just 2 minutes? I'm just here and there. I just need to settle. Can you just do something for 2 minutes, please?
Okay.
Something can be done.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Okay,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So
Please
you can
accept
all
Dandavat
hear
our
me?
obeisances,
Pranam.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you. Dandavat
Very
Pranam.
sorry.
Please take over.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So we are reading 762, and this is the verse. Yata hi purushasya Vishnu pado sarpanam Tadesha sarva bhutanam priya atmeshvara suhita. The human form of life affords one chance to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in human form of life, must engage in devotional service to lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all living entities. So, so yeah, I think I'll just let me just Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Vaishchanishta. Okay, so this is the verse which is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. It's a famous verse because what Prahlad Maharaj is, what he is up to, he's trying to give logical reasons and he's trying to prove that devotional service is very natural and spontaneous. That's the whole point. Because generally we think devotional service, many people think devotional service to be brainwashing. In fact, where Srila Prabhupada's time, there was this, I think Srila Prabhupada also had an interview. I forgot the name of that person. And he was really against Srila Prabhupada. And he started a movement, ISKCON brainwashing. And he came with an interview with Srila Prabhupada also. And I think Hayagri Maharaj, he came with an interview with Hayagri Maharaj. And they were trying to prove that ISKCON people are brainwashing and taking our children, who became hippies, they are making into devotees. It was a big thing. And then Srila Prabhupada, so the reporter asked, you are really brainwashing? Prabhupada said, yes. Prabhupada said, we are brainwashing. Dirty things has to be washed. So we are brainwashing. And he was just dumbfounded. So what Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Yatha hi purushasya iha Vishnu. So what he's saying is, Yatha means in order that. So that the idea is human form of life. It is continuing from the previous verse, where Prahlad Maharaj famous verse, Kamara macharet pragyo dharman bhagavataniya durlabham manusham janma tadapi adruvam arthadam. What Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Yatha hi purushasya iha Vishnu. Iha Vishnu. Iha means this. Purusha, Purush. Upanishads use this word Purush a lot. Prakriti and Purush. This is used in Upanishads. If you read Yoga Upanishads, if you read Upanishads, there are many categories of Upanishads, like Sannyas Upanishad, and there are few Sannyas Upanishads, Yoga Upanishads, then Brahma Upanishads, where they're talking about God. So there are many lists of Upanishads there, and Upanishads generally indicate God as Brahma or Purusha. Especially Yoga Upanishads, they call they address God as Purush, and goddesses or energy of this whole universe as Prakriti. That's how it goes. That's why in Gita, which is actually Upanishad, Gita Upanishad, Gita also calls, Gita has this Prakriti Purush, that chapter is there. What's that chapter? Prakriti Purush Chetna, 13th chapter, yeah. So what he's saying, that this Purusha se iha Vishnu. Who is this Purush? This Purush is Vishnu. Now according to him, God is Vishnu. Now, this is not Prahlad's conclusion. This is the conclusion of Narad Muni, because he was taught from Prahlad. Prahlad learned from Narad Muni. And Narad Muni, he got his conclusions from Brahma. So we can easily conclude that all Vedas, when they talk about God, they're talking about Vishnu. They're not talking about Shiva. They're not talking about Brahma. They're not talking about Ganesh. They're talking about Vishnu. And if you read Vedas, it is very clear. Our acharyas, they quote many verses like Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam. Or if you read any praise even for Shiv and Ganesh, if you read any praise, it starts with Vishnu. And then it goes on to praise Lord Shiva, Indra, or so on and on. So it's very clear. If a person reads with open mind these Vedas and Upanishads, it's very clear Vishnu is supreme. And that's why he says, Purushasa iha Vishnu yathahi. That means, in order that when we get human body, he means certainly what we should be doing is Purushasya iha Vishnu. We should be trying to understand Vishnu. We should be trying to serve Vishnu. That's all. Life is not so big enough to do some experiments. We can do some experiment with our life if we want. But rather than, the best thing is to actually follow the Mahajanas. Mahajanoyena Kada Sapantha. Follow the previous authorities. It's simple. I mean, if you become diseased, you can do some experiment. You can treat yourself by doing something or something. The best way is go to some expert and get yourself treated. That's the best way. Even in mundane things, that's the best way. So why not in spirituality? Go to authorities. Mahajanas are authorities. Prahlado, Janaka, Bhishma, Balir, Vaiyasika, Vayam, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapilo, Manu. We all know 12 Mahajanas. And all these, so what these Mahajanas have to say, all these Mahajanas, 12 Mahajanas, all of them are stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Swayambhu, Brahma Stuti is there in 10th canto, 14th chapter. You read to Krishna. Narad Stuti is there all around in Bhagavatam. Shambhu, Shiva Stuti, 4th canto. But I think what's that? 4th canto, 23rd chapter. Rudram Gitam is there. And then Swayambhu Narad Shambhu, Kumara's praise is there. So when there's a discussion between Kumara and Narad, the Kumaras, they actually praise the Lord. That's recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam. Kapilo, that's, I think, which canto Kapilo? Third canto, Kapil Muni, it's all there. Manu, Swayambhu Manu, his instructions are there in, I think, 8th or 9th canto something. Kumara, Kapilo, Manu. Prahlad we are reading. Janak Maharaj's instructions are also there in a part of 9th canto. If you read carefully, it's there, not in details, but it's there. Prahlad Janako, Janak Maharaj's more instructions you can find in Mahabharata and even Ramayana. Prahlad Janako Bhishma Stuti, Prahlad Janako Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, it's all there. Prahlad and Bali. Vaiyasiko Vyasadev, Sukdev Goswami, and Vayam and Yamraji. Yam Stuti is just 7th canto or 6th canto something. Avanti Brahman and all those. So you can see all of them unanimously, they profess God as Vishnu. And so there's no confusion. If you simply accept the authorities, there's no confusion. If you don't accept the authorities, and if you read Vedas and Upanishads, it's very, very confusing. Because many scholars have tried to read Vedas and try to understand who is Purusha, and many of them came to utter bizarre conclusions. For example, Nyaya and Vaisheshika, they came to conclusion that Purusha is some abstract energy. Sankhya people, they came to conclusion that Purusha is universal cosmic force. So all of them came to weird conclusions. Karm Kandis, they came to conclusion Vishnu is God, but he's in the laws of karma. So what kind of God he is? So that's also utter crap. If you read Upanishads, you can either become yogi, jnani. There's so many interpretations. So what to do? Yathai Purushasya Iha Vishnu, except Prahlad. What Prahlad is saying. By the way, Prahlad Maharaj, he's not interested to speak lies, first of all. And second of all, Prahlad is a self-realized soul. That's very important. That is why Sukdev Goswami could have only included the instructions of Prahlad in Bhagavatam. But he also included his life, and he wanted to show what kind of devotee he is before even telling what he's speaking. And that's very important. First, you have to establish the credentials of a person, isn't it? And then you have to say, okay, this person is saying this. This person is a prime minister and he's saying this. Then you take him seriously. This is Prahlad. What kind of devotee he is? Well, you can read Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, and what happened? He was thrown from mountain, given poison, snakes, lions, elephants. Nothing happened to him. He was undisturbed. This caliber of devotee is saying Vishnu is supreme. So I don't think so there is any argument or problem of accepting his conclusion. Yate Purushasya Vishnu Padop Sarpanam. The idea is Pad Upsarpanam. Can you do this? Pad Upsarpanam. Pad means lotus feet. Upsarpanam means approaching. So what he's saying is, can you just excuse me? So Padopsarpanam, Upsarpanam is approaching. So the idea is we have to approach Sarpanam. Sarp means, by the way, like a snake crawling. Up means near. Just like a snake approaches a person slowly and steadily and bites. Similarly, what Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Padopsarpanam, we should approach the lotus feet of God slowly and steadily. That means, in other words, approaching lotus feet of God means serving the Supreme Personality of God. Shanai Shanai Uparamet. Slowly and steadily, we should increase our service attitude to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and increase our service attitude to Vaishnavas. And that's it. That is what bhakti is. Bhakti is nothing to do with concentration. That's included, but bhakti is nothing to do with concentration. Bhakti is nothing to do with samadhi. Bhakti is to do with service attitude. The more the service attitude for Krishna, the more we are advanced in devotional service. And that is why you see many saints, all the Vaishnav saints, mystic saints of Sri Sampradaya, and also Madhva Sampradaya, Dasa Sampradaya, Purandar Das, Kanak Das, Annamai. There are so many singers, Vallabh Sampradaya, Nimbak Sampradaya. All these people, what they were doing? They were simply singing songs in the praise of Lord Vishnu. That's all. That's all. They were not sitting in samadhi or doing something like yogis and jnanis. They were not interested in this. They were simply interested in service attitude. And that's bhakti, means to please a person. That's bhakti. Bhakti has nothing to do with some sound or mantra or light. We have Mahamantra, that's one thing. Prabhupada says sound vibration of Mahamantra. But what exactly we are doing? We are chanting to please a person. That's all. So if you want to please a person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you should first also have some idea of pleasing people who are in front of you. Otherwise, how will you please a person? Hare Krishna. Somebody's unmuted. So otherwise, how do you please a person who you cannot see? And that is why in all Vaishnav Sampradayas, this concept of Vaishnav Seva is there. Serving devotees in such a way that they are pleased. Now, this might seem very funny because to people who are spiritualists, they think they like to meditate, they like to, sit in meditation, they like to focus on some abstract energy. We like to do that. But when you come to devotion, people say, devotees say, okay, groom the temple or wash vessels. So you might think, what's happening? I've come here to understand philosophy, meditation. I felt like that when I joined. But then they told me, wash bathrooms, wash the floor. I was thinking, what the hell, what am I doing here? But later I understood, actually this process is very different from all other processes. Although in the eyes of public, bhakti, dhyan, gyan, all are same. But if you fine-tune things, then you will understand they're very, very different. In fact, if you make a column, bhakti and dhyana, bhakti is just diametrically opposite to jnana and dhyan. Just opposite. Dhyan is like this, bhakti is like this. If you really fine-tune and zoom things, because in dhyan you have to concentrate on God, but in bhakti you're doing something, you're doing such actions, you're thinking in such a way that God is concentrating on you. It's just a reverse. In dhyana you are trying to elevate yourself. In bhakti you're trying to put yourself down. In dhyana jnana you're trying to go up. In bhakti you're trying to go down. It's entirely the reverse. In dhyana and jnana you sit and meditate. In bhakti you do action. And that is why you see Ramanacharya, he writes commentary on Gita, which is called as Sri Bhashya. And he says that out of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga is much, much better than Jnana. He says that although many of the other acharyas or yogis, they say Jnana Yoga is better than Karma Yoga. But Brahmacharya says, no, Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. Because why? Because Karma Yoga means action. Jnana Yoga means understand. If you want to please somebody, you understand someone and you act for him, what is better? How that person will be pleased. You simply try to understand him, okay, I'm happy. But if you do something for him, he's really happy. So he says Karma Yoga is better than Jnana in his opinion. And that makes sense also, if you look from the perspective of Ramanujacharya. So that's why Padopsarpanam, Upsarpanam means serving. Padopsarpanam. Vishnu means, by this name is used Vishnu here. Why not Govinda? Why not Krishna, by the way? They could have used Yathai Purushaseya Krishna. But they used Vishnu. Why? Because Vishnu is one of the name of Krishna, which means Vishati iti Vishnu. That means who is all pervading, who enters every atom, who enters the heart of his devotees. That is Vishnu. Vishmam Vishnu Vashatkara, that is there. So Vishnu. So that is why they use the word Vishnu. Because why? Why the word use of Vishnu? If you ask Prahlad why you are using the word Vishnu, next line he says, Yad Esha Sarva Bhutanam Priya Atmeshwaraha. To it, Atmeshwara, he says. Why I am calling Krishna as Vishnu? Because he's Atmeshwara. Because he's the master of the soul. He has entered the soul of all living beings as super soul, and he's controlling them, and he's guiding them, he's inspiring them, he's sometimes warning them, but he's always there with us. That's the whole idea. He's always there with us. How there is there with us? Priye Suhit. He is, you see, the logic which Prahlad Maharaj says is, the person who is most close to you, he is the most dear, isn't it? And by the way, we don't like to stay with people who are not dear to us. We like to be around with people, and we like people around us who are dear to us, naturally. And the most near to us, near dear we say, no? So the most near to us is Vishnu. He's right there within our soul. There's no one most near to us. That is why he's the most dear, Priya. And that is why they say Atmeshwara Priya. That is why he's most dear. And because he's most dear to us, that is why he's Suhrit. He's most dear to us and we are most dear to him. And that is why he is Suhrit. He's our well-wisher. All our near dear people, they're all well-wisher, isn't it? Mother, father, relatives. We might think they are not. In our ignorance, you might think they are not a well-wisher, but they will always be a well-wisher, especially our parents, who are most near and dear to us. So why not God? That is why he says Priya and Suhit. By the way, this verse, I think Jiva Goswami quotes this verse in Bhakti Sundar to show that why devotional service is natural. Bhakti is swabhavika. Bhakti is not artificial imposition on mind. Bhakti is not brainwashing. Why? Because it is natural. Why? Because Lord Vishnu is the most beloved, Priya, the master of the soul. Actually, we have to put it in the way. He's the most beloved. Why is most beloved? Because he's very near to us, the master of soul. And because he's very near to us, he's a well-wisher of all living entities. He's our well-wisher. And if we find a person who is so dear to us, so near to us, and a well-wisher, we'll naturally like to serve him, isn't it? That's very natural. It is spontaneous. If you like someone, your friend, if you like your friend and if he's very near to you and he's a well-wisher, you will want to serve him, that's all. I mean to say, so you will want to give him gift on his birthday. You will want to take him to somewhere, like, okay, let's go, I want to take you to this party, this thing. I like, so if you like something, you will want to share with him. So if you really want to understand devotion, this is a trick. You observe the relationships of this word, what people are doing for their near and dear one. Or we also know, we have sons, we have father, mother. Same thing you do for God. And that's devotion, simple. That is devotion. Or a girlfriend and boyfriend, what the boyfriend is doing for girlfriend, what the boy is doing for the girl. Same thing you do for God. What you're doing for parents, same thing you do for God. What you're doing for your children, same thing you do for God, with same emotion, with same intensity, and that becomes devotion. Now you might say, well, how can we do for God? Because we have no connection. We can see our parents, we can see our child, so that's natural. We'll do something for them. That's what Prahlad is saying, that you think you have no connection, but your connection with God is more solid than connection to the people who you've got in this life. That is body connection. This is soul connection. So once we actually realize our relationship with God, which is called Sambandha Jnana, we have to keep on hearing, keep on remembering, on making ourselves remember. And if we chant nicely, then we will realize our relationship with God. The holy name, it helps us to realize the relationship with God. Actually, Vallabhacharya and even Srila Prabhupada, they actually comment somewhere that when we chant the holy name with service attitude, then the holy name will actually penetrate the layers of our mind, intelligence, and ego, and it will directly touch our soul. It will come in contact with our soul. And at that time, we will realize that millions of lives we have been separated from God, who is our best well-wisher and is very dear to us. And that time, your service will be spontaneous. So that's the way how you do it. Prahlad is a self-realized soul. And he understands his relationship with God. And that is why it's very easy for him to do devotion. In fact, if you realize your connection with God, it is very difficult to not to serve him. But that realization is required. Theory and realization. But if you understand in theory, okay, Sambandh Gyan, Abhidaya Prayojan, Sambandh Gyan, Jivera Surupa, Krishna Ranitadas. That's theory. That's also important, step one. But that's not sufficient to make you serve God spontaneously. That's not sufficient. That is necessary but not sufficient. In logic, we say these two words. Necessary, sufficient. Something is necessary, but it might not be sufficient. Eating food is necessary, but it might not be sufficient to give you energy. You need sufficient food amount and good nutritious food. Similarly, theory is necessary, but it's not sufficient to help you serve God spontaneously. What you required is you have to change theory into realization. And that's what we are chanting for. That is what chanting will do for you. That is why all our acharyas, they were chanting and chanting. And Ratri Dine Kare Naam Sankirtan. But they were chanting with service attitude. That's the whole point. So they could chant, they could realize, and physically and mentally, without and within, they could serve Krishna spontaneously. So once devotion becomes spontaneous, it becomes very easy and very happy. Evam prasanna manaso. Anything which is not spontaneous will become frustrating after some time. You will feel as a burden, what I'm doing, why I'm doing. No, there is no parents who feel burdened by serving the child. There's no parent in this world. They will actually, parents can never feel that a child is burden on you. They can never feel that. Why? Because they have a connection. They have a connection. So they have a bodily connection. Now here we have a spiritual connection. Why we should feel burdened? The day we feel burdened and frustrating devotional service, that means we lack realizations of Sambandha. We lack realization that God is Priya, Atmeshwara, Suhit. He's ours. He's ours. That's the whole point. He is ours and we belong to him. He belongs to us. That is why Sambandh Gyan is the base of devotion. Sambandh, Abhidaya Prayojan. Sanatana Goswami is Acharya of Sambandha Gyan. And he talks about this, that Sambandha Gyan has to be realized, and it has to be realized at the level of soul. It has to go into your soul. So how do you do this? Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. That is Mahaprabhu's opinion. Other sampradayas may have different opinions, but our opinion is Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. That's all. So that is why Prahlad says Priya Atmeshwara Suhirta. And Prabhupada mentions in this book, but every living entity has intimate relationship with God. Prabhupada comments on it. And that is the perfection of life. The perfection of life is to actually realize this fact. Vishnu, Krishna is ours. He is a well-wisher. Bhoktaram Hegatapisam. Prabhupada quotes this verse. Suhirdam Sarva Bhutanam. Same. Priya Atmeshwara Suhir. We have to realize, we have to never forget this. And somehow by hook and crook, you have to keep it in your mind, in your heart, that he is mine, I am his. And if we can keep this sentiment in our heart. Sentiment is a loose word. If we can keep this understanding in our heart, then devotion becomes very, very easy. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a book, Tattva Sutra. And he says, there is just one statement you have to understand in devotion, rest will follow. And that one statement is, Krishna belongs to me. And I belong to Krishna. That's all. Tumi to aman, ami to tuman. This is one statement you can keep in your mind. Rest becomes very easy. Chanting becomes easy. Serving becomes easy. Everything becomes extremely easy because it becomes spontaneous. You don't have to force yourself. Your mind will run towards the lotus feet of Krishna, Padup Sarpanam, Vishnu, just like Ganges flows towards the ocean. That kind of Krishna uses this word. Krishna uses the word anvarata, without break. Just like if you drop oil from a container, the oil will not drop in, fall in drops. The oil will fall in a, what do we say that?
Continuous fall.
Yeah, continuous stream. And that's how devotion should be. Like oil. Flowing and shining and always approaching the lotus feet of God and His service. That's all. Finished. So, that's what is Prahlad Maharaj's opinion. What this verse is trying to convey is that devotion is not brainwashing. It's not artificial imposition. It is spontaneous. And why it is spontaneous, that also Prahlad Maharaj told in this verse. Hare Krishna. Anybody want to ask anything? Or I'll just stop.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was very wonderful class as usual. Like you were saying about when Mahajana say something, we have to listen to that. It is like authorized one. And yes, so the purpose of chanting is like we want to realize that Krishna is always with us. So that's how the devotion will start. And I just like the point when you said that if you think if it is burden, then that's where that we are lacking in realizing the Lord. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Hare Krishna. So with your permission, we'll go to the question and answer session, Prabhuji. Let me check whether there are anything in the chat. Dear devotees, any questions or realizations, please go ahead. And raises there, Yash, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, do not pranam.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, how to realize our relationship with God? Like, it's very usual. Have we realized?
Chanting, I told you.
But Prabhuji, but in chanting also, like, it's very it's not difficult to chant, but it's like in a dhyana yoga, we have to focus on our inhalation, exhalation. But in chanting, what is our focus? What must
Focus is that God's name and God is one. This is step 0. The name of God is God Himself. That focus you have to keep. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So there are chat questions, Prabhuji. We'll move on to the chat questions. Yeah. Sunanda Mataji is asking how to increase our service attitude.
How to increase service attitude? Well, if you want to increase your service attitude, you have to know the person whom you are serving first. And the second thing is you have to do what he wants with responsibility. And then your service attitude will increase. That's all. These 2 things you have to do. In this material world also, it's like that. If you know a person and if you do what they like with responsibility, you develop service attitude for them.
Yes.
That's all we have to do.
Yeah. So there is one difference actually. So here when we do, it is just temporary when we do for mundane service. But if it is for the Lord, then it is eternal. So that's why we are doing.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Actually, what I just want to add here is what we devotees are doing. I mean, if we devotees are serving God in temples or wherever we are, that's okay. But what we are missing is we don't try to know God. We don't try to know Krishna. We don't have sufficient information about Krishna. And that's where lack is. So our service attitude lacks. The person we are serving, we are more concerned in serving him than the person himself. And there, so you know how it works. There was one, so I'll not tell the name, but there's a, I mean to say, ISKCON Guru. So he was like having Vyas Puja. And so he was having Vyas Puja. So he was just taking rest in his room. And so downstairs in the temple, devotees were actually celebrating the Vyas Puja. They were like offering to actually a picture. And the Maharaj, he was like sick, so he was in the first floor resting. So they were offering to the picture, offered food to the picture, offerings to the picture, but they forgot to give the food to real Guru Maharaj, who was on the first floor. He was hungry whole day. So then later he said, what the hell, it's my Vyas Puja and you're offering to my picture and I'm there on the top floor and you're doing nothing. So that's, it is funny, it is crazy, but that's what is happening with us, by the way, if you really think about it. We are all serving Krishna and we are all sincere and definitely we are all serving Krishna, but we are not interested in Krishna. And that is why when I travel the world and I ask devotees about Krishna, devotees don't seem to know about Krishna. I mean to say, I can, so you all can do some homework, and so and tell me what's the height of Krishna. Tell me if you know, if you are talking Hare Krishna, if you're saying Krishna, Krishna always, at least you should know what was the height of Krishna.
Prabhuji, according to my knowledge, I will be thinking only in mundane sense only. Height would be like 6 inches or something like that.
Yeah, something. No, he had a height. No, he was a boy. He was a cowherd boy, and he was not all pervading. He was there. He was sitting on the lap of Yashoda. He was dancing with Radha. So he should have a height. So what's the height? 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet. Why I'm asking is because whole life we are saying Krishna, but we don't know him. We don't know his height. 7 feet maybe, that's not maybe, doesn't happen, If so if I ask you what's the height of your son, you will say something, no? You will know approximately. He's 3 feet, 3.5 feet, 4 feet. Definitely you'll know. Krishna, what's the height? Okay, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you see the point there. What's the color of pupil of Krishna? In the eyes, you have this pupil. Our Isma is black. What is his color? So the idea is yellow. No, yellow. It can be yellow, blue, green, black.
Rainbow colors will come.
The rainbow color. So, well, the point, see, I'm not asking quiz. What I'm trying to make you realize is that we are not interested in the person we are serving. If you ask a boy about a girl, he will tell all details about that girl. He will tell her eyes, he will tell her lips, he will tell her nose, he will tell every inch of her skin. So what about us? We don't know. So that's where we lack. That is why our service attitude is very low. In fact, what is happening is, if you really zoom in, what is happening is we are serving Krishna not to actually please him, but to actually satisfy ourselves. And that's why when we serve him, we are happy. But what kind of happiness is that when you serve Krishna and you don't know about him? What kind of happiness? So what exactly you are doing? So there are loopholes. That's what I'm trying to make you realize. There are loopholes in our devotion. And that's why we keep on doing devotion day after day, years after years. And we are at the same level. I've seen so many devotees, 20, 30 years, but they are exactly at same level. Not even, I mean to say, so not even 1 millimeter they have advanced. But they should have advanced because they are sincere, they are serving. Something is lacking. If you make food, and if you don't know how to make food, but if you start cooking, you can cook for eternity, but your food will not be cooked because you don't know how to cook. You'll keep on spoiling the food. Isn't it? Similarly, devotion. We are trying to do devotion, but if you don't know, do it properly, you can do it for eternity, but you will spoil it more rather than coming to some conclusion. So, Bahujanma jadi kare Shravan Kirtan, tabu to na paye, Krishna pade prema dhan. Generally, we say, why we don't get prema? Because we do offenses. And there's a list of offense. But forget that list. Just forget that list. The problem is, offenses are always there, but the problem is, we have to read about Krishna. We have to know him. We have to know that beautiful person. And the more you know him, the more you get attracted, and the more things become easy. And then the more we like to serve him. That's all. And that is why this Priya, Atma, Ishvara, Suhirta, these are all qualities of Krishna, isn't it? So we like to hear, and then okay, yeah, we'll serve Krishna. So his qualities, his form, or everything, Prabhupada has done everything in Nectar of Devotion, by the way. After 19th chapter, which devotees don't read. After 19th chapter, not allowed to read. That's another, I don't know, that's another philosophy, but I don't know why it's that. But new devotees, okay. But then we have to read what Rupa Goswami has written us. So that's my answer. Service attitude to increase.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that elaborate answer. In your in this class discussion, also you were saying that we have to think Krishna like one of the member in our family, like how when we are serving our children, our husbands, or our in-laws or parents. So like that, if we think him, then we can realize him. So that point I just like. But that realization is not coming. Like as you said that the Guru Maharaj, he was asking that I'm here, you're not giving me the food. That kind of thing is going on actually. So we just, what we do, during offering the bhoga, just keep it there. Okay, 2 minutes, finish. Let's take it. I don't know, Krishna must have eaten, that's all. So that knowledge only it's there. It's just mechanical. Mechanically it's happening.
Mostly.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Achyuta Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. Yeah. So, Prabhuji, my question is like the name and the name of the Lord and the Lord is same, right? We know that. But how to practically apply that? Like, I mean, it's like, okay, the name Nam Prabhu and Krishna is non-different.
Practically, you have to apply. I'll tell you, I understood your question. Practically, you have to apply is when you chant, then you have to feel that Krishna is with you at that point of time. Then that's practical application. It's okay.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Dolly Mataji, I saw you raised your
Hare
hands.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी. आप मेरा क्वेश्चन नहीं है मगर जो आपके आंसर्स होते हैं, जो मैं लेक्चर सुनती हूँ, आपके आंसर्स जो होते हैं वो रियली हमारी लाइफ को रिलेटेड होते हैं, मगर परसों के
हरे कृष्णा, प्लीज स्पीक इन इंग्लिश. सॉरी, इंग्लिश में बात कीजिए.
last lecture, Prabhuji said that how we can have tolerance, and the answer was very touching, that we can be tolerate with living intolerable persons. So that was very touching answer. And podcast Bhagavad Gita, that is very suitable for we people.
Okay, that's
Hare
good.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
That's nice.
Yesterday's lecture about Mahaprabhu, that we were the same time living when Mahaprabhu does his Bal Leela. That was absolute. Prabhuji,
Okay.
Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So chat questions, we'll go on with the chat questions. So you have time, Prabhu?
Yeah, I think I still have time in my life.
Okay. Please give us more time, Prabhu. There are more questions actually. Okay. So Mausami Mataji is asking, is there any mention of that Shukadev Goswami's parrot in Goloka? I didn't find any evidence. She wants evidence.
It's not there. This information, Sukadeva Goswami's parrot, this information is not correct. At least Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we don't accept this. Because Srila Prabhupada says Sukadeva Goswami was Brahmavadi, and then he became a devotee, pure devotee. I mean to say, and devotional life. So people, their stories going on like that, but we don't accept it.
Okay. So, but Prabhuji, Shukadev Goswami, it's said that he was the parrot of Radharani, like that?
No, that's what, that there's no evidence for this.
Okay.
There are stories floating, but there's no evidence. Our Goswamis don't accept this version. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So then Radha Jyoti Mataji is asking, when service will become spontaneous, how we will understand? Because we follow rules and stick to instructions.
What's that?
When the service becomes spontaneous, how we can understand? Because we follow rules and stick to
Well, no, when service becomes spontaneous, then rules will not appear as rules. You will simply follow them. The time until you feel these are rules, so that's your statement. We stick to rules, isn't it? So you feel that these are rules. That means service is not spontaneous. Service is spontaneous, rules will appear very natural. Then they will no longer be rules. I mean to say, as soon as you enter temple, you will do Dandvat. It will not be a rule for you.
Oh.
As soon as there will be the altar will open, you will clap and you will dance. There's no rule. So we have a rule in nectar devotion: in front of deities you should dance. But if service is spontaneous, you will feel like dancing. It will no longer remain rules, and that is how we understand our services become spontaneous. Generally, if you ask people in Vrindavan, Sahajyas, service becomes spontaneous, how do we know? They will say you will surpass all rules and you will not follow any rules. You will go beyond rules. But that's wrong. The idea is you will follow rules not as rules, but as a part of your life. Then that becomes spontaneous.
Okay, so it's a kind of Raganuga, we can say, Prabhu?
Yeah.
So we'll just, at that time we ourselves will know. That's what you're saying? Okay. So then next question is chanting in service attitude. Yeah. Mushkan Prabhuji is asking, chanting with service attitude, what does it mean?
What does it mean? It means it means that when you chant, then you will, I mean to say, it's a higher understanding. When you chant, then you will, in your mind, in your heart, you will know that this chanting is pleasing the ears of Krishna. And you will remember the form and pastimes and qualities of Krishna. And you will understand and you will know that when I'm remembering the form and pastimes of Krishna, then Krishna is watching that, and it's for the pleasure of his eyes. So the name is for the pleasure of his ears, and the remembrance we get from the names, that is for the pleasure of his eyes. This is called as chanting with service attitude. But it will happen after some time. Now at our stage, chanting with service attitude means that to understand God's name is God himself, and chant with a prayer, please Krishna, engage me in your service. What Prabhupada says, that is for us now. But on higher levels, this is going to happen.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So then actually there is a question about what is the height of Krishna also.
Well, that is homework that you find.
we can Google and search it out. Soumya Shashwat. Soumya Shashwat Mataji is asking, my father is physics professor, that is Soumya Mataji's father is a physics professor, and he always discussed with me about everything related from physics, but I'm curious about God particle. What is God particle?
Oh, come on. I don't want to answer this here. This is a physics question, no?
Okay, Prabhu. So then Avani Mataji is asking, how may she's asking
God particle is actually, so in one line, God particle is Higgs boson. So you go on net and see what's Higgs boson, and that is God particle.
Okay. So yeah, there are rays hands, but let me finish this question and come. So Avani Mataji is asking how to connect with you, Prabhu. She wants you to be her Shiksha Guru.
With me?
Yeah.
So yeah, please provide my mail in the chat, and she can mail me. That's all.
Yeah, okay.
Keshavanand108@gmail.com. Somebody can provide
Keshavanand?
Keshavanand108@gmail.com. KESHAVAND108@gmail.com. That's all.
Is that correct, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Prabhu, thank you. So yeah, now to the unraised questions, let's go. Priyanka Nagar Mataji. Yeah, please go ahead.
What's the time?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you said many times in your lectures that read about Lord's Guna, Nam Gun Roop Leela. Read and listen about that. You said, but I never actually did it. But the first time I read Ramayana, you know, Achintya Krishna Prabhuji was giving the lectures. Then I start to listen his lectures, and then start to read. And you know, first time I was feel when I read about Lord Ram's gunas, then I feel that I want to live this person. This person is actually amazing. And why?
Yeah, that's what. By reading, you will get this.
And I feel why I can't be like him. He is so renounced. He's leaving everything for his daddy and the word, he's leaving everything. Why I'm not like that? And I can't why I'm not tolerating the little things, and he is tolerating so big things for everyone.
Okay,
And then
so that's what. That's why we should
I'm
read
just
about
only
God. No? That's why we should read about God. You are right. We get connected with Him.
yeah. And then when I start to chant, then I feel, oh, that is that Lord. I not only in Ramayana, when I'm reading Ramayana, when I'm listening Ramayana, every time I want to feel Him. And you said when we start to japa, then you are with God. Then after that I did japa, then it was different.
Okay, good. Good.
Thank you so much that you are in our life.
Hare
It
Krishna.
was so much mercy of God, really.
Okay.
And I'm
Hare Krishna.
asking one more thing, Prabhuji, one more thing. Can if we ask to God that we are want to stay after life after life, such a devotee like you, then Krishna will listen. Because
I don't know
Krishna
what
will listen.
Krishna listens or not listen. He is independent, Swarat. We don't know what he's thinking. He can never imagine what he's doing. We can speak, then leave to him.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for your realizations. So, Prabhu, do you have time? We have some more questions in the chat.
Just okay, one question and then I
Okay. So, yeah, service attitude is not done. Okay, so I think Mataji, Avani Mataji, you got the mail ID of Prabhuji. So please note it down and you can send him email. And then what is the question? Yeah, HK Mataji or Prabhuji, she is asking, she or he is asking how to manage a service attitude and how to act with different like-minded devotees.
What's that? I can't understand the question.
How to manage our service attitude.
Manage a service attitude. What's the meaning of manage? I don't know what is this question. How to manage?
So second part of the question is, Prabhu, he or she is asking how to act with different like-minded devotees.
How to act? Respect them. If the frequency is not same, then just respect them. And don't be with them, but respect them. That's all. That's all. Finish.
Yeah, of course, we have to respect. Thank you, Prabhu. So one last question, Prabhu. Is that okay? What should we search for by reading pastimes? Drishti Sharma Mataji is asking.
What did we search for? When we are reading pastimes, then we have to focus on the exchange of love between God and His devotees. That's what we are searching for.
Sorry, Prabhu, between God and us.
The exchange of love between God and His devotees and His pure devotees. That's what is our focus when we are reading pastimes of Krishna. And that will help us nurture our own love for Him.
Thank you, Prabhu. So yeah, a few more questions are there, but since you have some other commitment, let's end off here. Thank you so much, dear devotees, and thank you so much, Prabhuji, for coming on the call and so patiently attending, giving all this question and answer session. So we are eternally indebted to you, and we want a association in future also, like this every week. Devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji.
Vacha